If you're struggling how to build or gaining kills in your bases, this is a video for you. Hello guys, welcome in. It's your boy Nestor, and today I want to show you a video that is gonna give you some base tips in order to make a better bases and get more kills in Meteor Maker. As you can see, this is all my bases. The majority are champions, so I'm gonna give you some tips how to have a more efficient base. And the first step is just claiming your site. Now when you're in this section, people don't pay attention to two things. Usually they will see the capacity, but they will not see the gem man available on that environment or site. So both of them are equally as important, because one is gonna give you more potential to put in more traps or make it more artistic depending what you're aiming on, but the other one is gonna give you more lifespan, meaning that this is gonna be up for longer, meaning that you will get more rates and kills over time. If you don't have enough for a high capacity base, don't worry, just spray a little bit more, get some Syntite until you get it, because it's not really worth it getting a low capacity base because you can barely put anything on it. So we found one that I want. It has max capacity and max gem man, so this is the site I'm gonna claim. Alright guys, so we got this site, and something that most people don't do is to trim or strip out the site. As you can see, every site comes with blocks already, so this is resources they already have throughout the site, and you don't want it. So in order to get rid of this, we're gonna go onto the build menu and we're gonna strip out the outpost. This is gonna eliminate any blocks, including the path for the harvester, so keep that in mind. We're gonna strip it. Yes, and now everything is stripped out. As you can see, that even the path of the harvester is already gone. Another thing to take into consideration is how your environmental site is designed. For example, here I have a bunch of blocks on top of it. So if I want to make more like a boxy type of base, I would need to use the underground for the most part, or you can take advantage of the site blocks and make a little maze on it. So it depends really how the site environment comes in. It could impact the design that you initially had in mind. Alright guys, so you clean out your site. What is the next step? The next step is creating or choosing a layout. So there's different layouts right now in Meteor Maker. The most popular one, but something that I do not recommend, is what we call the kill boxes, which is basically a box filled with traps, usually with plaster sentinels and guards. This one is very efficient getting kills, but probably you will not get rated. As soon people see the thumbnail that looks very boxy, most people will not pick out your base. The second layout is usually a little more rampy, has a lot of ramps, where usually it's filled with bumps because they're really good when in this type of bases. So depending what type of traps you're aiming for, this is usually very good for any trap that contain bombs, because they will just roll down and kill the player. So this is another type of layout that you can create, which has a lot of ramp. And then next you have the snake, and I call it the snake because it has like a snake kind of like harvested path, where it usually has lava on the bottom with some traps around. This is another great layout that you can choose. And then you have maze type of build, where it creates a lot of like hallways and stuff like that, and you can create you know, opportunity for trapping the player. However, if you're choosing the maze, try to make it very active. I see a lot of people creating mazes where there's almost not a single trap on the hallways, and this becomes really boring for the raider that is on your base. So the purpose of you building is creating kills, not boring the player or wasting their time. So you're probably not gonna get any accolades if you create this type of gameplay. So keep in mind that kill boxes are a big no right now, because most people hate it. Alright guys, so the next tip is to learn how to trim your bases. And what I mean by this is, usually when you're creating a hallway, let's say for here, for example, I'm gonna put some roof and walls. So I need to do it like so. Here you don't need to have this, so after you finish your hallway, you can just go there and trim the blocks that you don't need to cover that specific hallway, so people don't shortcut your build. So if you do this, you're gonna get the most resources out of your base. Most people don't pay attention to this, and it start adding up at the end, and this can prevent you having, let's say, a specific boss, specific traps, or more traps throughout your base, because you're wasting so much on the blocks. And people think because it's only one, but fight here, fight there. That's basically now a mod. So you want to trim out as much as possible, especially if you don't care about aesthetic. This is really important to learn when you're building. Now, something that I see people doing is building from the start to finish. You have to create the path first in order to start building. Once you have your layout, once you decide what you want to do in your base, you need to start building the skeleton of the base first and then start building. So keep that in mind, because otherwise you're gonna get confused, or probably you're gonna waste all the resources before getting into your gem mat. Remember, if you don't have the path of the harvesters, you won't be able to build, because it's part of the requirement. As you can see on the right side, it says harvested path and minimum defenses. So that's requirement in order to activate the base. So I will recommend you to start building the path first and then start building later. All right, so I'm all set. I already have my path. So keep in mind, like I said, you want to start building or creating the path from the gem mat through the beginning. If you do it the other way around, you're probably gonna start creating bases where you will not have enough to reach out the gem mat. So keep that in mind. Now guys, at the very beginning, you want to create something that looks attractive on the thumbnail. If you don't care about aesthetic, that's completely fine, but make sure that the front of the base looks something attractive, something that people want to click on. It's the same as a YouTube thumbnail, right? Where, you know, the better looks, the more clicks you're gonna get. So it's kind of similar. So if you put the base like this, probably people will not find it interesting, where you have some sort of like shapes and lights and stuff like that that looks attractive to the player to enter your base is really important. So if you want to get rated, make sure that at least the front of the base looks presentable, looks something that people want to click on. So just to give you a quick example here, this one has a little diamond shape, so maybe I want to rate that one versus this one that looks like nobody care about welcoming to your base. All right, for the next tip that I have for you guys is basically creating a build up layout. I have a little diagram here with some colors. You probably can guess where the harvest room are gonna be. You want to make sure that the first room is not the hardest on your outpost, because what this is gonna create is discouraging people for continuing raiding. You want to start like a build up, a little, you know, very subtle, very easy to pass by, then spice things up a little bit more, and then make the things harder before they get to the gem mat. I see people doing the opposite, doing, you know, the hardest room first, depending on the base, right? But usually this is the case where they start making at the very start at the beginning of the base, everything is hard, and what this causes is just discouragement. And I learned it myself at the very beginning. People would leave right away. You would get kills, but then you will not get accolades, you will not get ready as much as you would think. If your intentions are to put traps after they grab the gem mat, do it on the way out, not on the gem mat room, because people are just gonna flee right away, and those traps that you wasted there, they're not just gonna do anything. And to give you an example of this, I just set up some traps once I grab the gem mat, and you can see that has a delay almost like 3 seconds in order to start firing up. By the time that's happened, I'm already out. So keep in mind that creating traps after they grab the gem mat is not really efficient. If you want to put traps after they grab the gem mat, just do it on the way out. That way it creates technically another level inside the outpost, not at the very end. If anything, just create whatever you want to put on the gem mat before it's getting grabbed, nor afterwards. Alright guys, so for the next tip is to be mindful when you're setting out traps. You don't want the traps to backfire within each other, because that's gonna cause a lot of wasted resources here and there. You want to create an opportunity to kill the player, not just basically attract killing another trap. So for example here, if I enter this room and I push, I'm gonna back up panicking, and then each trap basically kill each other. So this is backfiring. You don't want that in your base for the most part. Maybe here and there, but for the most part you don't want to create this, because it's gonna create a waste of resources. What you want to do is create an opportunity to outplay the player. So for example here, if I want to push this trap, I can either shoot it or just grapple and do the follow away and thinking that I'm safe here. and I can just simply die with the impaler. Or another option is just basically create a distraction. Let's say for example here the guard, and then the impaler gets me again. So you want to create scenarios like this. So this is the kind of scenario that you want when you put in traps. You need to test it yourself, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff involved if you don't have bots, the timing, the range. So always want to make sure that you test everything before you active your outpost. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I'm gonna create other videos when it comes to like more advanced tips in terms of like setting traps. I hope you find this helpful and make you a better builder in Meteor Maker. The game is a lot of fun. If you made it to this part of this video, I'm guessing that you like this type of content, so subscribe and hit that like button. Definitely will help me a lot, and turn on the notification bell in order to know every time that I upload a video on my channel. I should cover this game and Dead by Daylight. So I hope you have a great day guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.